the Too Many Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
What it do, my good people? Good morning to you. Happy morning. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, man?
Crazy.
What it do, man? Man, laughter is good for the soul, my guy.
And it is.
Yeah. What's going on with you?
Man, everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that everything is everything.
Ooh,
Man, this weather is bipolar. Like, I'm literally burning up during the day, freezing at night. Like, I don't like get what's going on.
I don't know neither.
None. I guess the Lord just know what He want to do, how He want to do it, when He want to do it. And we just got to accept it, Reverend.
What you said?
We just got to accept it, Reverend. So anywho, yesterday's topic went so well yesterday. I got a couple of inboxes telling me to run it back again.
Dog.
So I guess we struck a nerve yesterday or something. I don't know. Or it really sometimes, you know, these topics that we do, Lavelle, it's not that they strike a nerve, but when they are really applicable to your situation or somebody that you know situation and it's close to you and it touches close to you, it touches close to your heart, like you really have to just talk about it more, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you just have to talk about it. You know, and there's no pun intended on our little motto, let's talk about it, but you do. You just have to talk about those things so you can kind of air it out, get it off. It's therapeutic, in other words, for some people.
Yeah, then sometimes you do leave a lot of meat on the bone. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I didn't go back and do any extra research on this like I would probably normally do, just kind of jump in and go do some extra research. I didn't because I felt like people got their own story to tell about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of want people to just tell their story, whatever it may be.
Right.
You know, just want them to tell their own story. And thanks again to Ralph for even giving us this topic, man. Great topic. And again, you know, I want people to be able to kind of understand or realize their truth and be able to talk about it. Good morning, Ralph. Talk about it however they need to talk about it. Right. And that's what this platform is for us to be able to talk about it, discuss it, and if it's therapeutic for somebody, then it's therapeutic for somebody. So Is dating a woman or man with grown children living at home or wanting to move back home a deal breaker? Is it a deal breaker?
I'm gonna say
I've Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna say this out the rip. I was just telling Don, was it this week or last? I think it was last week. I was like, man, I'm so thankful that when we got married, we didn't have no children. We didn't have no children till we got married. We didn't have to deal with none of that.
See that I think that's where um, see flesh and blood didn't really reveal that to you.
Right.
I think that's why in a lot of instances, like we're supposed to wait till we married to have kids and all of this good stuff because it's so many factors that come in with that, man. And some people do well with blended families, right?
Right. I
Some
mean,
people do well with blended families. Some people do well just having children before they actually get married. Not that they're a blended family, but they just had kids out of wedlock and then decided to get married later, whatever. And you got a lot of people that do very well like that with blended families. And then you got some people, man, it's a struggle, bro. Because you got these, especially, boy, when you come into a situation later in life where you decided to maybe remarry or you just didn't get married till late in life or it's a lot of this going on there. The younger people marrying older people.
mm-hmm.
Younger women marrying older men, younger men marrying older women. And they got kids already. They got grown kids. And you're marrying these people, and the kids are looking at you. They living at the house. They like, you just want dad's Social Security. You just want mama's Social Security. And I'm living here. I'm going to get that. It's a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell want to be in competition with somebody's child?
Man,
Grown or not.
Mm-hmm.
Grown or not. Who wants to be in competition with somebody else's grown tail child? And again, like we mentioned yesterday, we know that there are a lot of situations that make sense for a grown child to move back in, whether it be Ralph said I did 22 years in the blended family. That was cool. Okay, that's why I said some people can make it work and some people can't. I guess it just depends on the relationship between that man and that woman, though, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that relationship is right and they understand and they got each other's back, them kids ain't gonna come before them and they ain't gonna put them kids, you know what I'm saying? They gonna make them kids, hey, you gonna respect him, you gonna respect her, that type of situation.
Right. I mean, just like with you, when you gave her Monica, she had a child, and you all did an amazing job, and Tasia came out to be a very respectful young woman. You know what I'm saying? She respects you.
That was a little different. That was a different because when me and Monica started really kind of dating, almost Monica or seeing each other, she was pregnant with Tasia. I've been there since she was born.
Right. I'm just saying though. Yeah.
I mean, so I didn't. I mean, it wasn't one of those things where she just had the baby, and I just came into the situation. Like I was there when she was born, and so I've been there since day one. So, in a lot of regards, I was the only daddy she ever knew. So that's a little different. I'm talking about where you walk into and you already got a kid that's 4, 5, 6, 7, or 10, or 11, or a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't, ain't nobody got time to be competing with that child, I ain't.
But the reason why I brought your situation up is because I've seen it where that child becomes of age and finds out, okay, that's not my father. And they'll get kind of spicy with you, you know what I'm saying? And start going, I ain't got to respect you, you ain't my real dad, and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of that probably be trauma just from the hurt of them finding out how the situation was with those parents, as far as them letting them know. But at the same time, I've seen it where it be just like that, and that's the reason why I brought it up, and just to commend you all on how that turned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think too, it really just depends on the situation in that moment, and it depends on, again, the relationship with the parents, because we never like hid that fact from her. Never, even when she was smaller, we never hid that from her.
Right.
You know, but when she got older, you know, we allow her because like, well, you know, I don't really want to get into that, but you know, we allow her to make her own decisions. And I'm just, you know, so
I get you ain't got to say it, but I got you. Yeah.
Rap says Tennessee. No, he said, but dealing with grown children 25, 30 years old is way different. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's way different. Because sometimes you can catch a kid younger, and man, like them kids, man, they love you more than they biological parent because they feel like, hey, you been there, you did more, or it ain't no, you know, pitting against one or the other. They just, I got two dads. I love both of them. I got two mamas. I love both of them.
Yep.
And that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we ought to learn how to co-parent and coexist for the child's sake. So, hey, what's that one role model? Two. Shit.
Yeah, you're right.
He said, Tennessee, I did the exact simmering. Mine is kind of rocky right now, but I did it. Okay. Yeah, so it's man, like it's different, bro, and it hits different in some aspects depending on the relationship and how people come into these relationships, man. But it's getting back to the question, man. Is that a deal breaker? Like when you dating somebody, you come into a relationship and they have grown children that's living with them or trying to move back in with them. Is that a deal breaker, and why? Like, you know, for me, if I was back out on the dating scene right now at this point in junction in my life, because I'm an older gentleman, I'll be 56 this year, and if I run across a woman, if she ain't a younger woman, even if she's a young one, she might have kids. But if I run across a woman my age, chances are she probably already got some kids and grown kids.
Oh yeah, more definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And if she got some grown kids, if they living with her, like how would I feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so I would say it would depend on well, just depend on the relationship itself. Like, so when I come into it, and I like I said, I'm gonna ask them questions. I'm gonna communicate. I'm gonna ask them questions. I'm gonna say, hey, you know, what's the situation? Well, you know, I always told them that until they got ready financially, blah 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 blah. Kind of like, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So where they are with it, you know? Oh, well, she working and saving their money, and they just she actually looking for a house. Oh, okay, he actually looking for a house. Okay, cool. But if that situation is, child, he can't hold no job, she ain't trying to keep no job, and then she had a kid, and he had kids, bringing a kid. Oh, I don't know if I'm finna deal with that.
Yeah.
Good morning, Queen. Exact same thing. I should say. Yeah. I can't. I don't know personally if I would be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot to take in.
It is.
And I just don't know if I would be able to handle that.
I guess the other situation with it, bro, you know, especially if y'all really vibing, you know what I'm saying, and you know, y'all get further into it, you know, and you like, man, you know, I'm really digging her, and I really want to proceed with what I got going on, but like, I really don't want to get too far in the situation. You look up, you too far in, too deep in it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all became an item, and you still dealing with Jody. You know,
So in the initial part of you guys dating, what was the conversation about this then? Or when y'all was trying to really get to know each other, what was the conversation? See, I ain't finna fall that hard because I didn't have that conversation about that kid.
Right.
That child, that grown child living there. I already had that conversation. So I ain't finna dig too far in the liberation. And then you look, the red flags, man. We can't ignore the red flags. When I see you babying him, babying her, you
I lost your volume. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I I'm not gonna deal with it. Like I can't. I'm gonna ask them questions, bro. I'm gonna ask them questions early on, and when I see that you just got that thing going on with him, or where you coddling them at a grown age, you ain't trying to push them out there, you ain't trying to push them out the nest. They ain't doing nothing. Like you said, they can't keep a job. He can't keep a job. She can't keep a job. I'm out, bro. I'm out.
Mhm.
I can't be around for that.
Right.
I'm out. Because it's gonna eventually affect our relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it is.
Right.
And that ain't something like my peace and happiness. I am not willing to compromise
Mm-hmm.
for your grown child.
Right.
I'm just not. That's not one of the things I'm willing to compromise.
Yes, it's really risky, man, because I don't see so many different situations, so many scenarios, where it's bad. It's real bad, you know. Ooh, Mel Macklin came with a book. Mel said, "Good morning, Mel. I know someone personally that they started dating before COVID. Daughter was 30 at the time she moved out. She met someone herself and wanted her dad at the time to have privacy with his new lady friend. They both was in love during COVID. The young adult got pregnant, and little by little started moving back in. The communication of the situation wasn't presented properly, and the young lady dating the man felt a way. And you talk about everything in the world, took trips, dating, had each other's back. Okay, wow,
So what happened? What happened with the situation?
yeah, that's what I
No,
want to know.
yeah, what happened with the situation? Because you left us hanging. She said peace and happiness and everything. Vicky said it depends on the situation. Yeah, and that's what we say. It depends on the situation. But what situation, Vicky? What situation would be the deal breaker for you in that? What situation? Cause like I said, we know that there's a situation where we know that maybe the parent is allowing the child to get their financial security together, and they are working on their financial security so they can be ready when they get out, so they won't have to come back. Or it's one of those things where they're in school, and you say, as long as you're in school, I'm gonna let you stay here till you get out of school, graduate, whatever. We know there's situations like that, but we talking about the grown child that's at the house,
Hmm.
sucking up, playing video games all day, barely keeping a job, don't want to clean up around the house, don't want to contribute toward no bills, don't want to do just there.
I read all of it, Bill. Let me go back to it, see if I misunderstood what I was saying here.
Yeah, because
Uh,
based on what you read, I didn't get, yeah. It was like it wasn't a conclusion to the story.
yeah, it says and a young lady dating a man felt away. If you talk about everything in the world, took trips, dating, had each other back. I guess because probably because StreamYard only allow you so many characters. That's probably what happened. So because it does look like it's some more periods at the end of what you're saying at things, so it's just like too much. So when you have stuff like that, we have to start bringing you on the show because it won't let you see the rest of it.
Yeah, you're going to have to do it in two parts, probably.
Yeah, that's what that is. So you was typing like you was mad at the keyboard.
Yeah, because we didn't get the conclusion of that story.
Right.
And I know, um, you know, that situation could have went any kind of way. And it sounds like she said that the girl got pregnant, had a baby, and then slowly was moving back in. So she probably hit her financial, probably maybe being out pregnant, uh, maybe being out pregnant, she wasn't working, or it put a financial strain on her, and she had to move back in. So that even that situation could be a little different. You know what I'm saying? Dependent, but it's still a conversation. If I'm dating somebody, it's a conversation. Hey, man, my daughter done had a baby. She been out of work. She may have to move back in. I'm dealing with that. But it needs to come with some parameters. It needs to come with some, if you move back in my house, it needs to come with some parameters. I need to, how long you plan on being here? Like, look, when I got company, you and your baby, y'all keep that back,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It needs to come with some parameters.
That man said once that joker is able to beat me and Madden, he got to get up way too much time on his hands. He go crazy.
What did he say again?
He said once that joker stopped being able to beat him in Madden, he got to go. Don't be a sore loser, Ralph. Got time on his hands.
But those are moments, man, when I guess you could call those bonding moments. You know what I'm saying? If the child is with that, the child is saying, and I ain't talking about the grown child. I'm talking about, because we keep bouncing back between like younger children and older children. But if I ain't gonna be sitting there playing no Madden with no grown child, Drew, bro, you need to be gone at your own house playing Madden.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a younger child, I consider that kind of like a bonding period, or a bonding moment where we can sit down and actually talk and bond and talk about, our relationship and what's going on.
Right.
So I think that, and for me, is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a woman. Just like we talked about yesterday, the lady with the 6 kids that took one of the, like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship. I meant the 8 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a person with kids and not at some point in time, a junction in our life where I got to like hang out and bond with the kids. Like I wouldn't even want to date the woman if I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to me to be in a relationship with somebody and not have a relationship with her child at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Most women will extend those parameters. Next thing you know, it's a year then too. I mean, whatever. Like, as long as we got an understanding of what those parameters are. So even if you have to extend it, because I understand, financial situations are different for everybody. And now when you throw a child in the mix, Ralph, you can't. When you throw a child in the mix, you can't put no limit on, like, and it's my grandchild. You see what I'm saying? That changed the whole scope of things again. Cause you ain't finna put my grandchild out. So now you're competing with the child and the grandchild.
Your volume went away. We'll probably have to wait till you get in the building. Good morning, Miss Phyllis. It should be the parent job to make sure our children are responsible and actually make it if we pass away. That's a whole nother spin on it right there. Yeah, you ain't got no more volume yet, Tony. You got to wait till you get in the building or something. Something took your volume away. You have to wait till you get in your office.
Hold on. I'm trying to see what
go.
happened to my earpiece.
There you go. You came back up. Mel said it's been 4 years now. They are still roommates. The kids 4, it caused a breakup, and the couple could have been married at this point. The father gave up his happiness for his daughter happiness after 4 years to make sure she saved. That's cool. It's 4 years later, and the father still loves the woman, but pride and ego got in the way because he didn't handle the situation properly. Trust and honesty and communication is everything. If you love someone and he knows he would never meet anyone like that again, I'm guessing that's what it means at the end. Yeah, that's jacked up right there. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. You know, you get into the situation, you kind of from you know what they have going on, as far as the circumstances, and y'all get the vibe, and like you say, you look up, it's 4 years, and here it is. He had to make a choice over his daughter and the woman he don't fell in love with. That's jacked up. That's real jacked up. Ralph says, my understanding is you have to go out and get it. I not, I don't know what you mean. Not you have to go. I get really fighty around the 3 month mark. Grown is grown. Moms didn't make those grandkids. Right. Yeah, that situation that you talking about, Mia, that's real messed up. It's real jacked up. Yeah. And he's still in love with that woman, and you chose your daughter over the woman that loved you. And it don't mean that you don't love your child because you make a decision to move forward. That does not mean it. You know what I mean? Uh, it's
I can
it's
hear
a
you out again now.
it's a video that a pastor did. It's like a little reel that came out, and what he does is he does a scenario where he put the children in between the husband and the wife. And he said, "Do you see the separation between the husband and the wife?" He said, "They don't supposed to be like that. It said it's supposed to be the husband, the wife, and then the children."
Right.
And and so many times, us as adults, when we build in relationships, uh, like we said yesterday, sometimes majority of the time, and I heard again, here's my disclaimer: I ain't on a woman like that. She carries that child, especially when it's a young man. It's almost like it's a very weird situation. Like he just that mama's really like babying that man uh
Yep.
from a long time. Like no, let that dude grow up. And
Well, Ralph actually asked me a question, which we probably should have made this actually be kind of part two. Let me get to it. Cause it talks exactly about what you really just said. He
mhm,
said, "Why are we so afraid of seeing our children go through tough times and fail?"
yeah, yeah, hmm
And that could have been almost part two, where we kind of really looked at that whole narrative around dating, and then like actually, allowing our children to go out here and make mistakes, man. Because if they don't make mistakes, then how they ever gonna learn from whatever mistake they made?
hmm yeah. Ralph said, but again, the kids' choices should affect me if you are grown. Grandkids are pawns. Feel sorry for me, mom and dad. We can kick it, but we have to live separate. Since your grown children and their kids have to live with mom. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a crazy situation, bro. I hate to see people go through stuff like that, and that's selfish of the child too, man. That's very selfish of that grown child to do that to that person, see that I'm trying to move forward. They're not with your mom or father anymore, and they trying to move on in life, and you just in the way for the most part, and you being selfish and not thinking about your you say you love your mama or your dad, but you don't want to see them happy.
Right.
That ain't right. They ain't know it is right. And some of these folks purposely do this because they be spoiled and selfish as hell.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it is what it is, So I don't know. Like, I just don't think I could do it, LaBelle. Like, well, again, it depends on the situation. But it's gonna be tough for me, because I do believe in the tough love thing, and but I also believe in the tough love, but I'm not gonna see you in a position and you really need help. Like, I'm talking about truly need help. Like, you go out there and you make some bad decisions, and well, baby, man, you sir, you made that bad decision. You gotta live with it. But after you live with it and you continue to struggle, I'm not gonna watch you continue to struggle if I can help you.
Right.
If that makes sense, Right.
And
I'm talking about in terms of my grown children.
Right, but that person gonna have to want that help. They're gonna want to have to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You got to be just like my son popped on here yesterday. He said the child can't be sitting around doing nothing. You got to be wanting to do better. Right. And if you're doing better, and I know you made a mistake and you learned from your mistake, then I'm gonna jump in there and say, okay, let me see why I need to help you with. But also that shouldn't be no repetitive thing.
Right, but this is a segue right here, Tony. Now this gonna take the whole, gonna change it a little bit. This is the reason why you always say you can be there, but you may not be present. And so a lot of times with this situation, that why it happened like this is because their parent and their child don't really know each other because they was there, but they wasn't present. And so when they get older, the backlash of what they didn't by them not being present, it spills over. And that grown child is still wanting their parent. That ain't no cop out. That's just real stuff. Because they still long for their time and their intimacy with their parent.
Right. Mel Max said, Wu Child, they know their father had always been there financially and would do anything, even sacrificing his happiness. Even after divorce, he deserved to be happy too. Man. Whew. Tennessee people will make bad decisions because of you being their safety net. No, I ain't no fool. I ain't nobody's fool. Kids are nobody. I ain't nobody's fool. Now, if you allow them to keep doing it to you, then you the fool. Yeah. Back in my day, Mel said, back in my day, we had to live with it. My mom was there, but however, if we made a poor decision, we handled it. And he said, especially kids, yeah. But you get that's one of those teachable moments, especially as they're a young child. See, your kids know how far they can go with you. My kids definitely know. They know how far they can go with me, and they know when I'm gonna come to the rescue. And my kids already know, and they'll tell you right now today. We already know they don't play, but we know if we out there doing what we supposed to do, trying to do, and we fall, he gonna help us. They'll tell you that. They'll openly come out. They'll tell you that.
Right.
And like, I'm smart enough to know, like for Christmas, this past Christmas, I bought my kids generators. See, I know my kids. I know what my kids will spend money on. Right? And I know my kids ain't gonna go out there and spend no money getting no generators. Right? So What I did is I said, I'm gonna buy y'all some damn adult gifts. I'm gonna buy you some. You should be that you know because if your power go out at your house, I don't want you back at my house. Stay at your house with your own generator.
You bought them a survival kit.
Hello. Shit. So you got to know, like my kids know, they know, they know how far they can take me, and I know how far I'm gonna let them take me.
Right. It's a very touchy situation, man. And it's as they say, life be lifing. And I'm sure if we did a survey, these situations, the past 10 years, we just say 10 years, I bet we'll have so many different stories and so many different angles to this situation. And you really, I don't, I'm sure, it happens in every culture, but it seems like the dynamic with black people, it'd be so different, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like some of these folks, man, they just be stuck on stupid for no reason, especially when you add this whole with these young men now, man. They just so I can't even explain it, man. These this generation, man, I don't even know, man. I don't know. Especially
that's a different. It's just this whole thing is different, man. Like we can't. I don't even know how we even. I guess I would just hate to be the person that has to go through this with somebody I'm trying to date. And figure out all of these different scenarios and what makes sense, what don't make sense, and I guess that's probably why I said I don't know if I can deal with it because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person to have to figure out, okay, I'm dating you, you're a grown child, and what's the situation, what's the scenario, what I got to deal with. I don't want to go through that because again, my peace and happiness,
right?
Yeah. Phyllis said my motto is I would always have your back, but I can't have your front and back. Hello.
We keep pushing it at the same
time. Marcus says our children can come back home 3 days max, but they can come.
They go home 3 days again.
She lying. I can tell you right now, she lying. It's gonna be more than 3 days. She gonna let them come. Long as they trying to do something, man, they can stay there 2 years. She wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, it's most definitely a different scenario, and it really make you count your blessings. So, all right, man. I think it's almost time for us to clock that tea, bro.
All right, let's do it.
Good morning. Y'all know what time it is with them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. So unfortunately, y'all, the tea today is a tragic, sad story. But let's get into it. Have y'all seen the videos going around regarding the bad accident that happened in Arkansas, as well as it's been all over the news? Let's talk about it. So it was a young lady's birthday that was in the car. Allegedly, the driver's wife. It was her birthday, so they went to Houston and they were coming back. So on their way back is when all this occurred in Arkansas. Allegedly, the police was trying to pull over the driver, and he didn't want to pull over. He took them on an 18-mile police chase. And once he finally got off the exit, I'm guessing the police had met up with them and hit him from behind. And once the police hit him, the truck had flipped over. Now, in Arkansas, they do have a pit maneuver. So if you run from them in Arkansas, they have the right to do what they need to do, right, regarding the pit maneuver. So allegedly, from what I'm hearing, okay, because this is just, the guy has a live, he went on live after the accident. How did he go on live and call somebody? I don't know. But throughout the accident, allegedly, the girlfriend, the wife, called her mom and was like, they're all begging him to stop, but he will not stop. But old boy was on live, was like crying and screaming to the top of his lungs. Yeah, it was a little long live. They even posted some of it on the news. And he was saying, they hit me. I was trying to pull over, but they hit me. You know, so he's screaming, crying, snotting, all that. My personal opinion, it might have been some type of guilt, maybe. The reason why I say that is because it came out, police records, that he did have a warrant out for him for another charge. And maybe that's why he did not want to pull over. I'm not sure. I did go on the young lady's page, and then she did have some paraphernalia in that same car on her story, because they all were posted on social media literally like a few hours before everything happened. I looked, I seen it, right? So maybe there was another reason why he did not pull over, but all this is alleged until the police report actually comes out. But from the news and from the live, that's where I'm getting my information from. But let's continue. So he didn't seem to be hurt because he was in the police car, as I stated, on live and making calls to his mom, screaming and yelling, saying they hit him and he needs an update about his girl or his wife. Now, she lost an arm, sadly. Big Boogie's sister, she was also in the car accident. Sadly, she lost her life. Condolences to her and her family. And there's another young lady that they stated she was in stable condition, thank God. And she's in the emergency room. Now, that's all the news that's on her. That's all the news on the ladies as well as the guy. I know that he, of course, is in jail because of the previous warrants, but they haven't charged him with anything else just yet. But of course, they probably are. Now, I do hear some of the people blaming the police, and we don't know, we don't know how that happened. Allegedly, like I said, he took them on an 18-mile police chase, right? So nobody knew who was in the car, who it was, or none of that. They was just trying to do their job. So we can't really put too much on it until we get all the details. But condolences to the family and a speedy recovery for the ladies that were in the accident as well that got hurt. All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure you tune in to 2 Minute Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. Don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all, time is winding down for the 2 Minute Hats networking event, meet and greet. Get your tickets today. Y'all, if you get them at the door, y'all, they are $5 more. So go ahead and get your tickets today and already have your seat at the meet and greet. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, that whole situation was a sad situation, and again, you know, I'm not gonna point no fingers because I don't know what the situation was. Again, I wasn't there, and it's sad that people lost their life, you know, because of the accident. But I mean, I don't know how to really respond to that because I don't know.
I mean, as far as I'm saying something about it's the police fault, the police was doing their job. We got to stop. Man, us as a culture, man, we've become so I don't even know what word to use. Dude, you speeding. You don't took it on an 18-mile chase, and then when you go
Right.
live, you said you was trying to get over all of a sudden. Don't do that, bro. You feeling guilty now. And the thing about it is, this is a law in several states where they do
And
this.
guess what? And guess what? They gonna probably charge him for them people's death that died in the car
Right,
for reckless endangerment.
right. It's gonna be a very touchy situation on how they're gonna angle it, but especially with her calling her mom on the phone and saying, "Hey, he won't slow down."
Yeah.
You know, if she hadn't made that phone call, but still, no, bro. You if you were gonna do what you're gonna do some kind of way, hey man, y'all get out. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. I'm keeping going. But don't put your supposedly somebody you love.
You definitely finna you finna you finna stop the car and let me out.
Let me out, cause you can be a crash dummy by your damn self.
You gonna stop the car and let me out. I'm gonna put my foot over there and hit the brake, my guy. You do what you want to do. Let me out.
Man, I swear, man, it's real sad, bro.
Now you didn't cause people to lose their life because you a fool.
I mean, I get that they don't want necessarily blood relatives, but that's just like me and Tony, man. If something happened to Tony, majority of my people that I'm real close with, I love my family, but a lot of people that I'm real close with, we ain't blood relatives. I've been knowing Tony over 30 years. So come on now.
Right. Exactly.
Something happened to them.
So
right now.
it's different.
I ain't finna be right. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Like when we lost my brother Kenny. I mean, I wasn't right for anyway.
Yeah, it's different. Queen said these were ladies, so they probably didn't have too much of an upper hand. I would have been scared for real. Man, you would have pulled it open and let me out. You ain't gonna endanger my life being no fool.
But
and y'all gotta understand, man, when you dealing with these red states, these police in these red states, bro, you just can't do Mississippi, Arkansas, fucking Texas, Georgia. Man, you can't do that, bro. You did, man, pull over and take what you gonna take.
Mm-hmm. And
because if not,
the part about it, you did all that and your ass still in jail. Now you're gonna have some more charges with the charge you already had.
Yeah.
And you don't lost a death, and your one lady you love, her arm gone, and the other lady just you don't know what's going on. And she just said the lady Laterica had a 7-year-old. That's
sad, bro.
He probably on suicide watch right now.
And then what you gotta understand too. So who them people know? Well, they might not know. They might not know nobody in the Arkansas jail, but they could know somebody in
No, they were leaving. They had went to a trip. I guess they had went shopping trip to Houston or whatever for the young lady that he was dating. It was her birthday.
But what I'm saying is he locked up in Arkansas.
Yeah, because that's where they stopped him at. That's where they they did the maneuver on him.
I know. I'm saying you don't know who is locked up in Arkansas that's relatives to those people that are close, relatives to those people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Shit, he might not make it out. Look, where it travels through the jail quicker than they do on the streets.
Absolutely. Well, it's gonna be a touchy situation because they're gonna probably have to send him back to Tennessee because of those warrants he had out in Tennessee. So he's gonna have to probably stay in Arkansas for a little while. But then they're gonna have to move him to Tennessee. And from what I'm understanding is, like the new word we use all the last couple of years, allegedly, the only reason why he had those warrants is because he wasn't registering himself as a
Offender.
sex offender.
Yeah. It's sad, bro. No matter how you look at it, it's super sad, bro. The fact that we're sitting here even having a conversation about this I don't want to call him a fool, but about this fool, you know, why are we even having this conversation about this dude?
And it's the other segue with this, man, and it kind of go into our subject matter somewhat. It seems as if that a lot of these young ladies, and one of my partners went live yesterday, talking about the situation. It's almost like these young ladies love these want to be hard, want to be gangster type young men, and it come with the program. It come with what it is, and
Right.
it's almost like, dude, like y'all gonna ride out with me, but regardless. He made that choice and made that decision, and I ain't stereotyping. You know, the dude got tattoos and stuff all in his face and all that. I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is, ladies, you guys, young ladies, got to be very selective of who you laying down with, who you communicating with, who you being in a relationship with these people, because they some crash dummies, and they a lot of times they got so much trauma and hurt that they hadn't dealt with all this bull crap they've been going through.
Right.
You can't do that. You know, ooh, girl, he hard, girl, he this, and girl, he, man, come on, man, he ain't got nothing going on. But anyway,
Yep. Man, it's sad, bro. It's sad, man, and the fact that, you know, and here's another young man that, you know, life is finna be totally destroyed because of some bad decisions. But we keep talking about every decision, everything you do in life has a consequence, whether good or bad.
mhm.
And the consequences of this, man, is what the decision is, all these people, you got several people lost their life, and he's still in jail. And the consequences of him being in jail, now his time gonna be extended even further. Now, you didn't register as a sex offender. You probably would have got your, I don't know, a few, or maybe a month in jail, a few weeks, maybe not no time. But now, you finna be in there for a long time.
Yeah, they were saying they had some stuff in the car, stuff from one of the other reasons allegedly that he didn't stop. But either way it go, man, and it's a thing. You supposed to be this hard dude. You supposed to be this, and the third. You do the crime all the time. Pull your ass over.
Yep, that's it.
Come on, bro. No, you
Rap
can't be that.
said they were real ride or die type women. They probably knew how the guy moves out here. Yep. Yeah, that's why they was in the car with him. They knew. Yep. Cook, chef, cook, ride or die type women, literally. Yep.
Yeah.
Sad. Yep. All right, man. 4 5, 4 5, 4 5, 4 5, 4 5, 4 5 is fastly approaching. And we excited, man, for the 2 Men and Hat podcast meet and greet networking event that's going to take place on 4/5 from 12 to 4 p.m. Lavelle gonna have the whole readers on deck. We're gonna have the mimosas on deck. We're gonna have the live podcast on deck. We're gonna have our girl Queen Watkins with Clock That Tea live at the event. We're gonna have vendors live at the event. So we excited, man. We excited, bro. We are excited about this event, man. We're gonna have a single panel. We're gonna be discussing dating in the 21st century with our single panel. I sent them the questions that we're gonna be asking them just so they'll be prepared. And boy, they was like, woohoo! So we excited about it, bro. We excited about it, and I just cannot wait, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Yeah, man. like I told you, I check my Facebook memories every morning, and so for the last week or so, it's all been popping up. All of our podcasts been going live when we was on our phones and everything, and
Right.
But boy, it was.
But all that's gonna change with Facebook because they only allowing the live streams now to last for 30 days. Yeah. So we won't be getting a lot of that stuff down our memories probably no more.
Yeah. But yeah, man. But some of those topics, man, that we were dealing with, man, and some of them folks that was coming in, we had a couple of run-ins with some folks that we no longer communicate with, but it's all good.
Yeah.
But
that's part.
We still
part of the process. Part of the process.
Oh boy.
Yep, part of the process. Well, man, come on, close us out with your final thoughts, man, on this particular topic. And look, I be trying to listen to y'all. When y'all said we need to run something back 2 days, yes, she did. Monica sold 3 more tickets. She is pumped up about this, John. When y'all want to run something back and y'all inbox me and say run it back, I really got something I want to say. I try to listen and try to run it back. Or when y'all provide topics for me, because this topic again was provided to me by Ralph. He said, "Can I send you some topics?" I said, "Absolutely." And he sent me a topic, and we roll with it. So, man, we appreciate it. Is all I'm saying. We appreciate when y'all engage with us, when y'all tell us y'all want to hear or talk about certain things, or you want to run it back again. We listen, and because we listen, I think I was telling Nevaeh when we first got on this morning to show that this is therapeutic for a lot of people. A lot of people get to talk about their issues openly, or they get to use I know somebody. I don't really care, but I if it's helping people, that's all I care about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So close us out, man.
Yeah, man. Hats off to you guys. In these blended family situations, hopefully it's working for your betterment, and but I guess it's all about choices in life, and hopefully these grown children stop being so damn selfish. That's the other thing. So great topic for today, man. Appreciate y'all sending those topics in, man. I did everything my brother says. So yeah, man. That's what you're talking about, Ralph. Ralph, we're gonna have to probably bring you on one morning if you can. I don't know how your layout works, but that would be good to actually bring you on one morning.
Yep.
Add some more spice to it.
Right.
Well, all minds are hard clear. What's up, Tennessee? I'm starting calling you Tennessee. Amen. Let us pray. Most gracious eternal God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you. We worship you, praise you for just waking us up and being God all by yourself. Thank you for life and life more abundantly, Lord God. Continue to touch our efforts and just continue to bless us with what we're doing in our life holistically. Continue to touch our jobs, touch our efforts as far as this podcast that we're doing, our careers and our businesses. Continue to touch Tony family, my family, Queen family. Continue to touch everyone that's assembled, Lord God, that comes on this podcast, and to make them think about this situation and be better than they were on yesterday. And Lord God, we be careful to give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise that's due to you. And we ask you to do this in your darling son, Jesus' name. And we said amen.
Amen. Man, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time.
Same bad place.
2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
The 2 Minute Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.